Hello everybody, thank you for stopping by my channel today. My name is Daryl and we have the big door open in the shop today. We're going to do a little work on the tower, and I got the top two sections of tower in my shop, and we need to look at what we need to do to mount the rotor on the rotor plate and the thrust bearing on the top plate of this tower. So let me turn the camera around and show you what we got. Here on the bench here, I have the rotor that I'm going to use for this tower, and it's a Yaesu G-800 rotor. And I already looked at the rotor plate on the tower section, and I don't think the holes are going to match up. So what I might do is just take the plate off and bring it over to my bench here and drill some holes. I was looking at this rotor. I bought it off a friend, and let's see, one of the bolts is missing from this part of the rotor, and of course I need to find hardware for the bottom to mount it to the plate. But that's number one here to do today. And then this here is the thrust bearing I bought, and I bought it from DX Engineering, and that's their offering for a thrust bearing, and you can see it's the DXE-TB300. It's well made. It's for a 2 to 2.5 inch, I think it's maybe either 2.5 or 2 1/4 inch OD mast. So you can see this thing is really nice. It's made nice. It's not cheap, but it is made very well. It's better than the Roan version. I don't know who else makes thrust bearings. I think Yaesu has some, and I've never seen Yaesu's offering when it comes to the thrust bearings. But I think this one's going to do the job for me. So that'll go on this section of the tower up here at the top. So I got some work to do on this one, and then the one we're working on today is up on the sawhorses. And this is the plate that accepts the rotor. So most likely the easiest way for me to do it is I'm going to clean this piece of tower up, get all the tape off of it and everything. I might pressure wash it off, get it cleaned up, and then remove this plate here and see what I got to do to get this thing mounted. I might go and look online and see if Yaesu has a template for the screw holes, but it's possible if I move this thing around a little bit, these holes might line up. So what I'm going to do is take this plate off, and then we'll go from there. Okay, these both are 9/16 bolt and nut. Let's see how easy these come off. Probably should put a little lube on these. What else we got? Well, there's only 3 holding it up. Let's get this. this is it. So let's take this over to the bench and see what we got to do to mount this rotor on this plate. After a little bit of searching on the internet, I went to Trilon's website and looked at the rotor plate to find out if this hole was factory. And I can see that this little notch has been cut out for the rotor that was on the tower before. And you know, that I'm going to have to cut it. I'm going to have to notch mine a little bit too, because I have this little raised portion going on here. I don't want to modify the rotor itself. I don't know why that little raised portion's there, but I'm going to leave it. Now, these plates are fairly cheap. If I wanted to order a plate like this from Trilon, it's about $50 plus shipping. So then, of course, you got the wait time and everything, lead time. And you got to pay for shipping, or I could probably take it down to a metal shop and have them cut me a piece and use that. But we're going to try to reuse this one. And, you know, I went to Yaesu's website also, and they offer a template here for their rotors. And so I'm going to use this. So I can't just come over here and just place this anywhere willy-nilly. And I can't go from underneath and try to line it up to this hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center of this and make some marks, and then we'll lay the template down on top of it and then go from there. So let's do that. I have a couple of tools here that we're going to use to try to center this template. I have my T-square, and I have something to use to scratch a line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my T-square, I'm going to line it up with the point here. And I assume that these plates were machined at the factory, and they probably have a template that they just lay this thing into, and it cuts the holes for them. So I will believe that these were all where they're supposed to be. Like we have a perfect triangle. So my issue with it is when I do mark the lines, I'll have a line coming from each corner, and then I'll be able to lay this on my main line, but I won't be able to figure out from that how to move this up and down, because I have no line coming from the corner from here. So I'm not sure how to do that. I'm gonna be a rookie at this kind of geometry kind of thing. Laying it out is where I will be the rookie. So I'm sure there's some people out there in the audience that are the viewers that will know how to do this, but I've never done it before, so bear with me. So I'm going to try to lay these out and go from there. So, all right, that's pretty lined up in the corner there. Okay, there's one. Uh-oh. First problem right off the bat. This hole doesn't line up at all with my corner up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it doesn't line up. The hole is right here. It's not in the center at all. The first one was. This one was not. Huh. Well, let's scratch our line anyway. If I mess it up, I can always come from the other side and make new marks. So that's really odd. You can see, maybe you can see, the line is here and the hole's here, so that's not good. So let's see, I got one there. Let's do this one. Let's see how off this one is. This one's way off too. So maybe this is not an exact triangle. I would think it should be, but for some reason, it's not looking that way. Alright. So if I look down at this thing, it doesn't look like this hole is in the center at all. I don't know, it might be just an optical illusion because they have this piece cut out. How could I do that? Huh. Wow, that doesn't look in the center at all. I almost wonder if they bought this plate with no hole and they drilled their own. Let's look and see if these holes are in the center of the plate. All I gotta do now is find my tape. Alright, let's see what this says. It's 22 3/4, so we should be at 11 3/8, and we are not. We are slightly off for the hole. Yeah, you know what? Even my line is off. My line should be right there. Huh. So that's not good. So remember, 22 3/4. Let's measure this one. 22 1/2. Not good. Alright. What is this one? So that's already 1/4 of an inch off. We're just over 22 3/4, so this must be the one I just measured. I can mark that. 22 3/4. Turn it down. 22 1/2. I flipped over the base so I can make some new marks. So what I did is I took my tape and I measured and I found the center of this side, and you can see I made a little pencil mark right there to indicate where the center is, so you can see how off some of these holes are. This one's probably the worst of all, and there's the hole. So what I'm going to do is come back down from the center and come to these marks, which is what I should have done to begin with. Why did I trust the factory? Why? So we will, and that also tells me that when I go to put this thing back, if I don't put it back exactly the same place that I took it out of, the holes that are mounted on the tower will not match up, most likely. So let's try it this way. I've decided to just verify that this hole was anywhere near the center. So I continue my lines. I put a piece of paper up here, of course, and continue my lines through. And then I just kind of turn this thing over and put it up. And you can see right there where it's pretty much in the center. So that's a good thing. Now, if we go over here to our template, and I kind of continued the lines down through there too, but I didn't like the way I was trying to put this on there, so I decided to just do it on this. So we can see that the circumference of our, our circle here that helps me line up where the holes will go is, let's see, it's 119 millimeters. So I need to draw a circle around here with a circumference of 119 millimeters. So let me go get my calipers, and we will measure 199 millimeters and the lines from the center out, and then we will draw a circle around there, and then around that circle is where I can place my screw holes. Okay, what I did was I measured from the center of our hole. Well, actually, if you look on the template, 119 millimeters all the way across for the diameter of this circle. I halved that, so it's 59.5. So I measured 59.5 from here to here. Made a mark every single one around, and then placed my tool here in here at 59.5 and drew my circle all the way around. Now, why couldn't I use this template? So I printed this template out, and you can see if I come up here and I lay it down here, we're not quite where I need to be. So I could have went into SketchUp and made a template like this and been done with it, but it's just as easy to do it this way. So this is the true circumference of this here. So it's 119 millimeters from the center of that hole to the center of this hole, from the center of this, and then 59 from the center over to the center of the hole. And then also, while I was looking at this, I noticed that, see where it says top side? This is the top of the modem. I'm thinking about computers today for some reason. Router, modem. This bracket here needs to be moved to the very top. This is the top. And I'm wondering if the bottom has this piece. So good thing I found that, because I was going to flip this thing upside down and have it mounted upside down. So it's a good thing I saw where it says top side. All right, so let's go back to here. So now I know that I gotta have a hole here, I gotta have a hole here, and then between these two, I'll draw another line across here, and that'll give me my other two holes. So cool. So I can actually just kind of come down here and make my mark for a 90 degree, or sorry, 90 degree. I wasn't even showing you what I was doing. And draw, but I'll just draw, I'll draw another 90 degree line across here. And then where it intersects here is where my other holes go. So let me do that. All right, I have my 90 degree lines drawn. So what I did to do that was I just took my square and I lined it up with the line in the center point and just drew a line across, and then I continued that line all the way across. So there you go. So now there'll be a hole here, one here, one here, and one here. So we're all ready to go. So now I just need to mark those little areas on my template, and then put that back onto the metal plate here, and then we can start drilling some holes. All right, checking back in. So what I did here was I got a piece of wood, and I took my template, laid my template out here, and then with these intersecting lines here is where I marked on, I used my awl, and I put a divot here where the screw holes went. So middle, and then each one of the holes I drilled out. And then I flipped this thing over the right way, took this piece off, and you can see our holes. And we don't have that piece like we had. You can see it said bottom side, so here we go. And then I search around for my hole. Probably better if I just try to do it like this. So that screws in, or does it? Let me change hands. I'm not quite left-handed. We got a screw there. Move it over. It's not as easy as to do when you're doing it on camera. Got a screw there, And screw there, and I'm out of screws. I'm out of bolts. There we go. So now I got a real template. This is my center mark. I know you probably can't see it. Now I'll drill that out. So then I can take this, put it on the plate, get it centered on there, and then I have a place. Well, I just did this template here just to verify that this is exactly right. So it is right. So now I can take my template and lay it out on the metal plate here and mark my holes and then drill the new holes. So let me do that. Okay, what I did here was I put my template down on the bench and I put the plate on top of it. Then I lined all my lines up with the template. Then I overhang it a little bit so I can take a piece of masking tape and mask off that piece, this end. And then I flipped it over and just put another piece of masking tape over here. And then my marks for my holes are right here. And there should be one over here, right there. So bam, 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 and this is my center. So now I can take my punch and bring it into the hole and give it a good, make a mark here where they go. The center. No, there's I can't do that. Because look, so, nah, just kidding. So now I can take this off and find out where my holes are. And there they are. Boom. Ooh, look at that one. These two here, not good, right? So what am I going to do about that? Oh. I wonder if I can turn this. Shoot, it's going to be difficult to do. How will I do it? Let's take this plate back off. I don't know. Sometimes it's better just to use a brand new plate. So that didn't work out. So if I put it here, you can see, oops, there's my mark. There, the two marks are there, so you can see I got a little bit of a hole showing here and a little bit of a hole showing here. Rats! So I can turn it. All I got to do is make sure that the center is right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go drill this center out, and I'll be back. Alrighty, I think I finally got it to where I want it. Let me show you here. I just took my template, kind of moved it around until I got places that weren't close to any other former holes. And I think I finally got it laid out properly. So, anybody can do it? I don't know. It's pretty tough. I'm sure there's better ways. I don't know them. So now I'm going to come in the center of these circles, these holes, or these marks, whatever, and strike a divot, and then I'll be able to drill those out. So let me do that, and then I'll come back. Okay, it looks like we have some success here. Well, there's another hole here, but everything's lining up. It looks like this little circle or this little hole here, if we continued to have this around here, it would match up. So I don't have to do any more cutting on anything. So here we go. It's all ready to go. I just need to go out and get some hardware, and then I'll be able to screw this down. So I will mark this plate as to which holes to use. So when my climber's up there, he knows which holes to use, and I will remount this on the tower section here. Here's the rotor just roughly mounted on here. It's not tight because the screws that I use from this part, the top part, this flange that holds the mast, they're too long. So, but you can see I put some arrows down there so my climber knows which holes to use. So we're ready to go there. So I will clean up this tower, this section of tower, and get this tape and everything off of it. And we'll go from there. Straighten my mess up here, get all my tools that I'm not using. Then I'll swap this tower section out for the other one. And then I'll make another video of me mounting this thrust bearing. It's going to be about the same, I think, as the other one. I need to find the center of that plate. So about the same technique. Anyway, we're getting there. And as soon as I get this all done, I can let him know that the tower's ready to go up. I just have to fit the mast and put the antenna, one of the antennas together. So it's looking pretty good. All right, I love it. I'm going to end this video here. The next time we come back, we'll be putting this thrust bearing on, and hopefully that'll go well. And then we'll work on getting these last two sections of tower put on, and then we'll put an antenna together. So a lot of ham radio stuff. We're on hold on the cabinet build because I got to go get some wood, and I want to get this tower ready to go just in case I get a call that my climber's free. So it's always a juggling act over here with me. I always got irons in the fire for everything. So I work on a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe to my channel, and we will catch you next time.